So today is going to be a bit more vlogish, and I might post a real informative video tomorrow. We'll see. But I actually wanted to talk more about something that has been on my mind, and it's on the surface, and it really wants to come out, so it's coming out. And that is my confession to my actual identity, which a couple of people know about, but not that many. I identify as pansexual and genderqueer. And I'm not going to go into defining that. If you don't know what it is, there are plenty of definitions out there on the interwebs. Go ahead, look it up. It's not my specific specialty to go into. And I guess that sounds a-hole-ish of me, but my point is not getting into the definitions of those identities. My point is actually getting into me confessing my identity and why and whatnot. It's been brewing and bubbling and frothing to the surface. This is something I've been struggling with for well over a decade, is my identity, putting a name to my identity, putting a finger on the identity. It's just something that I've struggled with for a really long time, and trying to define it and describe it for people. And also, this is me doing something that I don't normally do, which is to talk about a personal experience that I haven't really been asked about. I'm not the kind of person that really talks about personal details as much, unless somebody asks me, and then I might tell them, I might not. It's just dependent on the person and the situation. So I figured I would break down a wall and break my own habits a little bit and talk about something more personal. Be like, yes, I identify as pansexual and genderqueer, and I do, because my makeup is to be more broad spectrum and all-encompassing and vague and vast. That's just who I am. I've never been really specifically attracted to one over the other. Yes, I've happened to date more men than women. I was in a relationship with somebody who was trans. At one point, I was in a relationship with somebody who their sex was male, but they had more of a feminine personality. They didn't necessarily identify as female, but they had that quality within them and whatnot. But anyway, not getting into that. So yeah, pansexual, genderqueer, just all encompassing. I don't fit into a box or a bubble. I just don't. It's not me. But the reason I'm talking about this is that for the last several years, since really coming to terms with the word genderqueer and the word pansexual and whatnot, and really understanding what those mean, and finally having a name for what I am, I've been thinking about the name that I have, my physical birth name on the certificate and whatnot. Bethany Leanne Morrison is not my name. It just isn't. I don't identify with it. I don't relate to it. People say it and I cringe. I hate my own name. I'm gonna come out and say it. I've rarely had appreciation for my own name on my certificate, and it's not me slamming the parental units for their choices. The way my name came about was not fun. It was because it was the only name that both of them could agree on and both of them could settle on, because they fought over everything else. It's like, that's not a good way to name a child. And so it encompasses the energy surrounding that particular name doesn't fit my beliefs and who I am anyway, and it doesn't fit my gender identity since I'm not female. And it's not a slam against them, because it's like I was born with female parts, so they were raising me as a little female and they gave me a female name, and that's how it was. So I'm understanding of that. It can be hard to try and make decisions for somebody who hasn't been taught modern day human spoken language in order to give give their own feelings, thoughts, and opinions yet. They're still more in tune with the whole source aspect and figuring that out. I can speak today, I really can. But anyway, so I want to start undergoing the process of legally changing my name from Bethany Leanne to Sage Lee, because that is more my name. It encompasses me. It's gender neutral while also being gender encompassing, I feel like. And I don't know if that's a thing to word it that way, but I'm making it a thing. It's gender encompassing, a gender encompassing name, meaning you can be male, female, both, neither, whatever, a frog, a fish, a bird, a moose, doesn't matter, a green person. And the name fits. It's my name. I want to be called Sage Lee from now on, so I'm going to start taking the steps to making that happen. It might be a slow process, and it's going to take a lot of convincing for certain people, and I don't think they're going to watch this video. I'm going to have to convince them in person. I want my name to emulate who I am as a person, as an identity, both on a sexual and a general level. And I love the name, and I hear my voice saying the name, and I'm just like, that is my name. I say my other name, and I hear myself cringing when I say the name, and that is a huge identifier that no, that's not my name. And I know I've heard people say it's just a phase. Every person at some point in their life hates the name that their parents give them. It's just how it is. And it's just like, for some people, yes, it is a phase that they go through, and then they're like, okay, I actually really like my name. I'm accepting of it, and I really like it. For me, it's not a phase. It's always been that way, and it's actually gotten worse with time, not better. It's like some of those people said, oh, it's just a phase that loud noises are hard for you to tolerate. And it's just like, no, it's not. It's always been that way. Every time a loud, sharp noise happens, my equilibrium goes off. And I have these unexplainable panic attacks, and I don't know what's going on with that. So, no, it's not a phase. It's obviously that there is something within my wiring, within my being, that makes this the way that it is. And yes, I'd like to figure out why that happens. For me, I know why I have the cringing factor about my name, and so I'm doing something about that. It's just like, it's not my name. That's why I have the cringing factor about it. My name should be something that emulates who I am, and Sage Lee does that. And yes, I'm ranting and rambling, and this is a vlog. It is in the title, vlog. So I am ranting and rambling, and if you're watching, I'm not going to apologize because you chose to watch this video, so deal with it. But the reason for video is putting it out there. I no longer want to be dictated by the whims, wishes, and wants of others. I've been doing it for most of my life. Over the course of this last year has been a detoxifying of that aspect of myself, trying to let that fade out of my being and become a person who lives by their own steam, who stands on their own 2 feet and runs their own marathon based on their own wants and desires, who lives by their own standards and knowing what they want for themselves and not living by what other people want for themselves or for that person. So, like, it's not about what you want for me, because you're not living in my head or in my heart or running my marathon. You've walked miles in my shoes. You've been able to observe my life from your perspective, but you are not in it. You are not looking at it through my eyes or from my heart. This is my life and my choice, and I know what I want and what feels right for me, and I'm going to make it happen for myself. And that's the purpose of this entire year, and that's one of the things about making these videos and doing the things that I've been doing, is trying to be the person that lives my own life rather than living the life that other people want me to live or want themselves to live. I have had the bad habit of being a people pleaser, and I don't want to do it anymore. So 2016 has actually been an amazing year for me. It's been really detoxifying and really breaking down all of the old habits and rebuilding new ones, and creating beautiful things from rubble and transmuting lead into gold. And it's been that kind of year, and it's been amazing, and I love it so far. I am learning all the things that don't work as well as all the things that do, and I'm able to take note of them and keep track, and I'm able to have really good responses to those things and be like, okay, now that I know that this doesn't work, I can take note of that and move on. I don't have to be pissy at myself that I can't believe that freaking didn't work, and I can't believe I did that, and how dare I, and yada yada yada. I'm recognizing the things that I'm doing that aren't working. I'm like, okay, that obviously doesn't work. Let's move on. And let's try not doing that again. And if we do it again, no, we're not going to be as hard on ourselves about it. So, anyway, yeah, thanks for watching my rant and ramble about my confession. Yeah. So, thank you for watching me being strange and weird and being me, and I appreciate you, every single one of you, and I hope good things are happening for you and that you are aspiring to live your own life. And if you're not, please sit down and ask yourself why, and please sit down and tell yourself it's your life to live, not anyone else's. It doesn't matter what they want. They have their life to live. They can control themselves. They can't control you, except if you give them that illusion that they have control over you. Live your own life. Follow your own dreams. It's never too late, ever, 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 ever. People wait until they're like in their 60s or 70s to do things, and they do them, and then no regrets, and it's awesome. So be that kind of person for yourself. Recognize that it's never too late to make things happen for yourself, and live your own life, and express yourself as you are. Do things for your own sake, not for other people's sake. Don't do things because you love the other person. Do things because you want to do them. Cool. Glad we had this conversation. Thank you for hearing me rant and ramble, and have a phantasmagorical life.